It's now time for horror on the small screen. Now this is where we do a scary TV show, we'll do an episode, or we can do like a regular show that has a spooky episode. And we're doing another Goosebumps. Now yes, we did say we were going to do True Detective Season 2. However, we don't have time to watch the whole goddamn season right now. So we're going to do that in the future. We are going to do Season 2 of True Detective, but we're going to do Goosebumps right now.
Beware, you're in for a scare.
Dwayne, what'd you think of this one?
Well, you know my track record with Goosebumps. I'm not really like the ones we
You've
watch.
been smashing them up. Hey.
Yeah, I've not been liking them at all. But I will tell you, this is probably the best one that I've seen. It's called Stay Out of the Basement, and I did enjoy this one, Sean.
Now, this is, for those watching at home, this is parts 1 and 2. We're counting them as one story. I agree with you. This is my favorite episode we've reviewed thus far for the show. The reason I picked this one, I was like, man, Dwayne's been hating all the Goosebumps that I've been throwing him. I want to show that my childhood wasn't full of dumb shit. And I was like, let me think. And I thought back, and I've actually never seen the episode before, but I remember reading the book, and I remember the book being my favorite of the books I read. That and I think Night of the Scarecrows were my two favorite. And so, I chose this one. I was hoping the episode would be as good as the book, and it was. It was very good. I actually thought the main actress in this was a pretty good actress. Everybody else, I didn't think it was all that great, but I thought she was a pretty good actress. Yeah, the main actress, Margaret, was played by Vico Lantos. I think that's how you say her name. And yeah, the other ones weren't great. Her brother Casey, not gonna lie, he was I might get in trouble for saying it. He was very super feminine. The actor was. I wasn't sure if that was a character choice or if that was just the actor himself. Not really sure. However, I'm pretty sure he's a professional dancer now, so that might have answered that. But Dwayne, one thing I think this episode did that the other Goosebumps didn't do as well is it's really good at suspense. There's not one but two scenes I thought that was very, very great at building suspense. The first one is the scene where they're not allowed to be in the basement. The dad's kind of an asshole about it. And then what do? The second he leaves, they go right in the basement. The little boy leaves a sweater, and then as they're running back upstairs because they hear him home, that's some honks to let them know he's home. So I don't know why he does that. But so she runs upstairs, the boy forgot his sweater, he runs back down, and it takes him fucking forever to get that sweater. And they build up the suspense just perfect. And then they did it at the end, towards the later end, when they're sneaking in his room, sniffing around, and he comes upstairs real quick, and she's under the bed, and you think he's going to catch her, but I don't know. But that was really good. This just, I don't know if this just, if the director in this one was better than the others, or if the book was much better at pulling resources from. I thought they did very well on that. And then, so the story in this one goes, there's a little girl who has a brother and her parents, and then her mom is leaving town to check on her sister. Her sister is in the hospital, going to have some surgery. She's going up to be with her sister. and she's going to leave the kids in care of the dad. And the kids are, kind of hit or miss. The little girl doesn't seem excited. She said he's been acting differently. He's been doing, projects in his lab in the basement. He's been acting weird, and the boy doesn't notice anything wrong. And when she leaves, the dad is kind of a complete prick to him. She cooks him breakfast. He doesn't want it. And he's always yelling him, don't go in the basement. And he's also interrogating him a lot and just being a colossal prick. And he tries to feed him plant food, and then she also catches him eating plant food and shit. And it's just kind of building up. What's going on with Dad? Why is he being weird? He's a scientist who works with plants. I don't think he's exactly a botanist, but I don't know, because he's doing experiments with them. And something's wrong with him. At one point, she's sneaking in and watching him in a bathroom. And I thought, man, 1,000 things can go wrong in this scene here. What if he takes a shit or masturbates in the bathroom? But luckily he didn't. He took his hat off and he's got leaves on his head. He's bleeding green. Kind of weird. And then so all kinds of weird things are going on where they think something's wrong. And Dwayne, what were your thoughts on all this?
So, like I said, I did like this episode more like the other Goosebumps we watched. The suspense was actually there. There was suspense. It wasn't like some kid suspense where, I'm going to get caught going around the corner doing something stupid. This was actual suspense because, like you said, the dad was I think he was a botanist. He got fired from his job, they said, for doing some experiments. So he's trying to do experiments in the basement of his house. But I did enjoy it. You don't know if there's something going wrong, if the dad was under the influence of something, if he was maybe he was raising a vice snatcher, he's a pot person, if he was a clone, you don't know what was going on. All he kept telling the kids was stay out in the basement, and the kids, of course, like you said, go right in the basement and start snooping around. I know me and you made some jokes when I watched it. When the mom was leaving, the daughter was like, hey, don't worry, Mom, I'll take care of Dad. And I thought, stepdad porn. We got out of Goosebumps now.
And then, a few moments later, she's watching him in the bathroom.
Yeah.
This is how it starts.
And there's a part where she's hiding in the bedroom, and the dad comes home, and they're like, yep, she's going to get caught and stuff.
Yeah.
But
how weird would it be if he dropped trout and just started beating it, right?
I don't want to think about that.
Okay. She sits on the bed, she sees his pants drop to the ground, and goosebumps. That would give you goosebumps to hear your dad jerking off 2 inches above your head. Goosebumps. Do. This episode's called. I hope I don't hear this in my sleep.
Maybe thinking about that later now. But reel it back in.
Okay.
This is Dwayne, the caretaker speaking.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion on my dick right now. I'm just stroking my shit. I'm horny as fuck, man. I'm a freak, man. Like, for real.
It was a very good episode. This was my favorite episode we watched. We watched 4 now, and I enjoyed this one a lot.
It only took us 4 to get to a good one.
So one I liked, yeah. The first one we watched about the little girl that was actually a ghost. You know, she was
I liked
at the end. It wasn't horrible. I didn't give it a good rating because I was like, oh my god, this is bad. It wasn't that bad compared to the others. Yes.
Go Eat Worms and Phantom of the Auditorium were pretty bad.
God, those were horrible. But this one was actually even like if you didn't say it was Goosebumps, it was just like a little kid show or something.
Yeah.
I can see kids enjoying this, and like I said, I actually liked it, so I like this one.
So towards the end, they're like, "Fuck this shit, I'm done with it." They go in the basement, like, "We need to figure out what is happening. I'm sick of not knowing." And when his whole basement looked like a damn rainforest, and they open a closet, and then they find their dad, and they're like, "What are you doing? I know you're not her dad." And he goes, "I'm your dad. It's me. I've been tied up here for days." And he says that he cut his arm or something, and blood got on one of his experiments, and I guess it cloned himself into like a poison ivy plant person, and that person overpowered him. It's stronger than him, and it'll overpower him and lock him into the closet, and it's trying to, I guess, build a whole race of those things?
Maybe,
I don't know exactly what. And then the plant dad comes down, and they do the classic, "It's no, I'm the real me. No, I'm the real me." You know, they've done this. I've seen this in television 100 times. They do it here. And she has like a plant killer. I was like, I'm pretty sure if you sprayed the real dad, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
So they could have just double sprayed it to be sure. But and then she figures out who the real dad is, because the real dad called her princess, and she's made a note in the beginning that she misses that that her dad doesn't call her princess anymore. And she was, only the real dad calls me that. And she sprays the plant dad, and he melts like the Wicked Witch of the West and turns into goo. And then they go upstairs, and then a few days later, he gets his job back, and they make a bunch of plant jokes. And then at the end, she finds some flowers that sound like her dad, and say, "Hey, it's me, I'm your dad." And you know, it's kind of all the Goosebumps have a weird twist ending. That's kind of theirs. You know, I didn't need it, but it was fine. You know, it's Goosebumps. It kind of comes with the territory. Dwayne, what's your final thoughts and grade on this one?
So final thoughts were, I did enjoy this one. It's a lot better than others we've watched. I'm sure there's some that are better than this one.
Maybe.
But like I said,
I know for a fact there is more I've seen that are worse.
Okay, well, let's not watch that.
We will.
But
We will.
But just by itself, not even if you call it Goosebumps, whatever, I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Oh, here are my pros and cons for Goosebumps. Stay out of the basement. Pros: a very nicely crafted story, definitely the best of the series thus far. Very nice and suspenseful scenes. The lead actress was very talented. Definitely the spookiest and scariest episode I've seen of Goosebumps so far. The cons: other actors went up to par to the lead actress. Predictable ending. I'm giving Goosebumps Stay Out of the Basement 8 Plant Daddies out of 10.